Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. I'm having a special late night stream because I want to talk about something I just saw an interview and it's quite interesting. It's about GameStop. Yes, GameStop. Everyone is talking about GameStop because it is on an unbelievable run right now. It's on a huge pump and short sellers are getting wrecked. They're really getting wrecked. But what I want to show you guys and what I want to go over is this video, this CNBC interview that talks about what is going on, what caused this, right? And what caused it is the type of investors that are retail investors, the ones that don't listen to what Wall Street says. They made up their decisions and they're going forward and they're driving the market. And these are the investors that are the next wave for Bitcoin. Yes, the next wave. Right now, it's institutional. Later on, retail will catch up. Retail investors, there's a new wave, a new breed of investors. And that is why you have stocks like Tesla that has gone to the moon pretty much and continues to move forward. And now you have things like GameStop that is pumping to the moon as well. So I want to share this with you guys, react to it, talk about it, and just have a good old time. Overall, I think there's a very important lesson to be learned from the pump that's going on right now, and I think it's really going to drive Bitcoin much, much higher. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I usually have my streams 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, but periodically, I've been having them at night and on the weekend whenever there is something to talk about. And there's a lot to talk about these days. All right. So let me show my screen here and let's get started. So here we go. Every headline, okay, is about GameStop. GameStop is worth more than $10 billion for the first time, and Elon Musk just gave it another boost. So it went up more than 90% in the regular session, and then it went up another 50% after Elon decided to tweet this. Elon effect is is real. GameStonk, right? And then afterwards, an aftermarket went up another 50%. So does this mean you should get in right away? No. That's what people were saying this morning. I'm like, whenever something goes up this much, it's just too dangerous to get in. If you want to put a little bit into it to try to ride the coattails, to ride the very end, that is fine, I guess. But still, it's a little bit too high for me. But that's not the lesson I want to share with you guys. But why did this happen in the first place? Well, mostly due to short sellers. And short sellers are the ones that are betting against something. In this case, against GameStop, thinking that retail is dead, right? GameStop should basically go bankrupt. And short sellers are basically, you got to think about it, they're a necessity, but they are also the ones that drive things down. It's almost like causing FUD, but in a way where you could actually really affect the price. And so far, GameStop short sellers have lost a ton of money, $5 billion this year, and I'm sure many have been liquidated and more is getting liquidated. And you know what? You know, they just keep getting liquidated. And the good thing about short sellers getting liquidated is it drives things up. They have to cover all the borrowed shorts that borrowed stocks that they took to short. So that is why sometimes you see these incredible runs. That is the main reason why Tesla has pumped up so much in 2020, because it kept going up and kept going up, and short sellers kept getting liquidated, which is why Tesla went on an insane 800% run. And you could argue that Bitcoin's rise, 300% rise, a lot of it had to do with short sellers getting liquidated too. I cover that all the time. Periodically, you see like 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, whatever, right? So short sellers, they exist, and that is why GameStop is going up. But why? Why did this happen? Well, it's because there are some rich day traders or just traders in general on Reddit. I don't know the exact story, but they decided to say, hey, let's pump in our money into GameStop. And one of those people is now a billionaire. So he's the founder of Chewy. So he was somewhat wealthy already. He didn't like how GameStop was being run, and basically he thought that they could use better management, and he put in a decent amount of money, and that decent amount of money has made him into a paper billionaire until this thing pops. But yeah, Reddit is basically the biggest cause of why GameStop started going up, why it started pumping, and why short sellers continue to get liquidated. All right, so that's kind of like the gist of it. So what does that have to do with Bitcoin? Well, like I said at the beginning, this is kind of like the new age of investing. And this video covers what Tom Lee, who's a new contributor, I didn't know that, but it was stated in here. And he talks about why GameStop went up. It's because of so much money sitting on the sidelines and because of retail investors. And basically the landscape, the whole landscape have changed. And this is something that he said earlier too about Tesla. And he has also said something about Bitcoin. And in here, he also mentions about Bitcoin having the same type of thing happen. And I think this is important because not only is it going to carry a lot of stocks up like this, it's going to carry a lot of other assets like Bitcoin up. And this is why you don't want to listen to Wall Street, because it seems like Wall Street, even though they get, I think, most things right, mostly because they have the power to make things happen. But we're now seeing a new wave of investors having an effect, a big effect, right? So let me play this for you guys. It's a little bit long, but I think it's a good overall here. I think you guys will learn a thing or two, and let me react to it while I play it. All right. So let me get this. All right, let's go.
Up. It's surging after hours. Of course it is. The move coming after Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted, "Game stunk," with 2 exclamation points, with a link to the Wall Street Bets Reddit thread on GameStop. Our next guest believes the stock's epic move will likely signal a regime change on Wall Street. Tom Lee is head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors and the newest CNBC contributor. Tom, welcome to the family. Welcome to Fast Money.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited to be part of the family. And now you guys will teach me that secret handshake for free drinks.
Yeah, offline we'll do that. Tom, is there a regime change going on?
Yeah, I think GameStop is telling markets there's a really bitter pill to swallow right now. And I think it's the same pill that the bond market had to take in 2011. And if I could explain, it's, I think for the last 10 years, out of the $3 trillion that people saved, 94% of it went into the bond market, which means today households are synthetically short stocks. I think now some of that money is flowing into equities. And when money comes into equities, it really lifts all boats. And so I think the fact that we've got a class of retail investors armed with cash, and I think they're going to get more cash, and over the next 10 years, it's potentially $3 trillion in cash. It's going to change the dynamic around stocks and potentially valuation.
Real quick, I mean, I can't verify it. It sounds far-fetched to me, but if it's true, that's pretty amazing. That $3 trillion of cash that's just sitting around from retail investors, 94% of that was in bonds. I have never considered buying bonds ever in my lifetime. So I don't know how many of you guys own bonds before, but if true, that's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines. Now they're all looking to get out of bonds and invest it into stocks and other assets, right? So that's pretty interesting. I don't know. Just you guys could chime in. How many of you guys own bonds? I've never thought about buying bonds in my lifetime.
Can you extrapolate what this might mean to the broader markets, Tom? Because right now we're seeing it in a handful of stocks, which people may not be trading in whatsoever, maybe inadvertently in through various ETFs, et cetera. But beyond a GameStop, beyond a BlackBerry, beyond iRobot, beyond all of these heavily shorted stocks that have seen wild rides, how does this impact the broader markets?
I think in general, PE is going to go up. And look, I can give you a very concrete example. CCC bonds in 2011 were trading at 10%. And that's a historically low yield for a very junky speculative grade bond. At JP Morgan, you couldn't even, there was no research issued on triple C bonds. And today, those triple C bonds now trade at 7.5%. So they've actually rallied monstrously further. And 7.5% is about where investment grade bonds traded on average for almost 30 years. So speculative grade bonds have become the new investment grade in terms of yield. Well, I think that's what could happen in equities, that we could see a stratification of PE. And I think overall, if people think 20 PE is expensive, I mean, in the bond market, it created took people out in stretchers who thought bonds were expensive in 2011. For 10 years, they got even more expensive. So I think PE could be a lot higher.
All right, stratification of PE. In case you guys don't know, PE is price to earnings. That's basically everything is judged by profits, or it should be profits per earning, not price per earning. But everything in terms of stock value is based on the PE ratio. How much does a company actually make, right? And they judge that. There's a PE ratio. So what Tom Lee is basically saying is valuations of companies is go skyrocket. Right now, I think there's like a level, like he mentioned 20. 20 PE is about right for growth companies. But obviously you have like guys like Netflix and Tesla that's in the thousands of PEs. So he's saying valuations is going to go much, much higher, right? What's interesting about this is something I've mentioned about crypto. If you look at the overall market, obviously Bitcoin is at around 600 billion, but you look at Ethereum at 150 billion, Polkadot at 15 billion, 12 billion, XRP 10 billion. Most of these companies don't have anything to show for, right? And they're worth so much, right? And now, according to at least to Tom Lee, that we're going to start seeing more of that with stocks too, simply because, and he's going to get to why, because retail investors declare that they are going to be buying. They're going to be buying something that they love, something that they believe in, and they're going to drive things much higher. That's ultimately what it is. We're already seeing that. We saw that with crypto already, and we're starting to see more of that now. But it's interesting you're starting to see it with stocks too, right? But ultimately, this all relates. Trust me, it's going to relate, so I'll get to it.
I think that's why you want to be synthetically long stocks for a while.
When do you think your colleagues on Wall Street, and I use the term colleagues, just other strategists, other investment professionals, will acknowledge the power of this class of investor? Because to date, it seems like there's a little bit of condescension when talking about this Reddit rebellion. This is crazy. This is mob mentality. These people don't know what they're doing. They may not do the research. But the fact of the matter is, and I'm just speaking from their perspective, fact of the matter is, they've made a lot of money on GameStop and a lot of these stocks. And if you take a look at some of the other sort of stratospheric rises that we've seen in the past couple of years, whether it be a Bitcoin or a Tesla, the retail cohort had gotten these stories right from the beginning, even as Wall Street turned their nose up.
Absolutely. I'd agree. I mean, first of all, the wisdom of the crowd means price is what we have to understand. I think a lot of people think their business is, oh, I can tell the stock market what to do. They cannot. The stock market is telling us the signal. And if someone who's a professional investor thinks only fundamental investors trade, that's a mistake. For the last 10 years, the average stock was held for 40 seconds. No one can tell me that a professional investor is fundamentally deciding every 40 seconds what to do. I think the majority of markets is based on expectations of the future. The retail investor is having a huge impact. Of course, it's going to create, I think, inefficiencies, but those can be exploited by other investors. So I think people just have to understand this is a wake-up call. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but I think overall it's a very good force. But you're absolutely right. Bitcoin is a great example.
All right, before he starts talking about Bitcoin, again, what he's saying is powerful. Traditionally, Wall Street looks down upon anyone else that's not in Wall Street. In this case, Reddit community, you have a good community base that believes in GameStop, and they really forced Wall Street to reconsider what is going on, right? Or their power. They keep shorting and they keep getting liquidated, right? So it does show you that a group of individuals, they can affect. And what he's saying about trading, that's true. this is not decided really by traders. It's more decided by people that actually believe in something, right? They've done the research, they believe it's a good product, and they're going to invest in it. And they're going to just hold it until death, right? HODL for life-changing wealth, right? Something that I've been saying for a long time. And that's what's exactly what's happening according to Tom Lee. So that's why I think this whole thing is so interesting to me. After I watch this, I'm like, man, there is really a shift. You know, it's not all about Wall Street anymore. Retail investors, average Joes, right? They have so much information now, and you get any kind of data you want, right? And if you get a group of people that believe enough about something, they're going to actually affect things. They're going to affect the market in a big way, right? And here, next he's going to talk about Bitcoin.
Of non-professional investors discovering a market. It's now proven to be pretty valid. And what are we seeing this year? Institutional investors are buying this hand over fist in huge amounts. They could have bought the entire supply of Bitcoin, in 2016 for 1/100th the price.
See? He relates it to Bitcoin, same thing. You have a group of people that believe in Bitcoin. They believed in Bitcoin. It didn't matter what happened to the price. They held it and held it and held it and held it, right? Then Bitcoin became what it is today. And now retail investors are leading the way. Institutional investors now recognize what the retail investors were seeing, what they were talking about this whole time. And now institutional investors is FOMOing in, right? So it's a very powerful thing. It's a change in dynamic. I mean, it's just like a whole thing has shifted 180 almost, right? It's really, really interesting.
Thanks for being on, Tom, and congratulations being part of the team. We're lucky to have you. So you've been bullish, rightly so, since I think mid-March. Is part of your bullishness based on this PE multiple expansion, or is it based on the E expansion from a recovering economy?
Karen, it's a fair question, and I think that it's two mechanisms. Last year, we thought S&P earnings this year could be $193, which is about $20 above consensus. And if you look at how first quarter's tracking, the beat is about 20%. So, I mean, right now, earnings are tracking to be over $200 in the S&P. So I think there's a huge operating leverage story unfolding, along with pent-up demand. And then on the multiple side, yes, I think, we've gotten used to saying, oh, well, FANG can trade at a 30 multiple, but everything else should trade at 10 or 15. I think the rest of the market is re-rating. And I think FANG can obviously see risk premium fall further, so multiple can expand. I think the overall market's multiple is trending higher, and unless retail literally disappears because of regulations, I think you're talking about a multiple that could be, a 30-something PE on the S&P.
All right, so I'm going to end it there. Basically, what he's saying, to sum up, is retail investors, they have so much money, they're going to change how things operate in the future. They can pump basically so much money into things. So now Wall Street has to reevaluate in terms of what is appropriate for a public traded companies. Like you mentioned, FANG would be 30 PE while everything else is 10. That goes out the window. But the point of this is retail investors, they have a lot of power. And this is the reason why Bitcoin will never die. Bitcoin will never die because you have a group of people that believe in it so much. It's almost like, faith-based almost, right? It doesn't matter what kind of FUD is out there. Doesn't matter if Bitcoin falls to whatever level. They continue to believe in it because they know it's a better form of money, a better store of value, a much better system basically to store and track and send money worldwide, right? So those are the type of people that will hold forever, and that is why something like Bitcoin will never go away. It will never go away, and that's a very powerful thing. You got to think of like every single successful company or product out there that is super, super, super successful. Almost all of them started like almost cult-like. Like you have such a loyal group of following that will basically stay with them forever. So, I mean, for me, I would say the very first company that I really noticed that with is Apple. When Apple came out, Steve Jobs, he created this whole thing where it was Apple or nothing. And he created this whole ecosystem where Apple could do no wrong, right? And look at where Apple is now, the largest company in the world, right? You look at Tesla, it's the same thing. Everyone, all of Wall Street kept saying, Wall Street's, Tesla is a bubble. It's go pop, right? They don't sell enough cars, whatever, right? Their cars are bad. But Tesla continues to go up and up and up because of the loyal following, the people that believe in Elon so much. It doesn't matter if there's any flaws, right? And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to go higher and higher and higher because of that group of people that believe in it so much. They're going to hold until life-changing wealth or until fiat collapses. One of the two, right? And that is why Bitcoin continues to go up and up and up. And then now, if you versus the biggest companies in the world, it would be ranked at number 10. So that's pretty amazing, right? So hopefully you guys got some value out of that. That was kind of like a eye-opener for me to hear that retail investors, really can upset the way things are, could really upset Wall Street. And that's really powerful. And that makes me believe more in Bitcoin and where it could go. And not only Bitcoin, altcoins too, because not just Bitcoin, I kind of poke fun of the XRP army, right? But that's kind of reason why some of these altcoins continue to stay up and continue to go higher. Because yes, even though they don't have a working product yet, yes, they don't have any traction or users or any relevant dApps out there, but they continue to thrive because you have a community of people that will just simply not give up on them, no matter what. And that is also very powerful. So besides Bitcoin, you're going to have a lot of projects that's going to do very well in the future simply based on that, but not that alone. I mean, there's going to be other innovations that we can't even think of yet, but again, very, very, very powerful. All right. So that's pretty much it, what I wanted to cover. So let's do some quick Q&A, and I'll let you guys go and have your night. Zach says, is it true that half of GameStop's profits are going to be applied to crypto? Probably not. But you could see the Elon effect, right? So I'm still waiting for him to say that, yes, I will be buying Bitcoin and Tesla will be buying Bitcoin, right? Think about the effect it's going to have. Obviously, Bitcoin is much bigger market cap, but still. And I'm fingers crossed. I still think Elon could possibly show up and attend that Bitcoin for corporations that MicroStrategy is hosting next week. That would be huge. Even if he attended, that would be huge, right? So, yeah. Tech Boy, yeah, there's no doubt. I think this pump is, see, a lot of people follow price, right? Whenever something pumps, people think, oh, it must be good. No. Obviously, GameStop is not worth more than 10 billion, and actually after market, it's worth like 15 or 20 billion. No, nothing is worth that much that fast. But the point of this is, not to like go and FOMO into GameStop. No, because this bubble will burst and it'll come down. But the whole point of this is the power of retail investors, right? Even I kind of doubted it. I'm like, you know what? Retail investors, they may have a lot of money, but it's nothing compared to institutional investors, which is true. But it does show you that the retail investors should not be ignored. Wall Street has turned their nose against retail investors. Like, who cares? Who cares what these Reddit guys are doing, right? Who cares what they're doing? They can't upset things. Well, it's showing that they can. Retail investors, you get a group of them that really believe in something, they're going to upset the natural order, let's say, right? And that's the reason why Bitcoin has gone up so much in 2020 and this year. And same thing why a lot of these altcoins have gone up, because you have a group of people that really, really believe in it. And they will hold it forever. And that's a powerful thing. Now Pump Blockbuster Circuit City. Circuit City got bought out by Tiger Direct. I don't even know if Tiger Direct is around anymore. But I remember they bought Circuit City and tried to like use their name and it didn't really work. Eric, welcome. Marijuana stocks? I thought marijuana stocks already went up a ton in 2020. I mean, marijuana is not going to go away, right? It's federally, I mean, it's statewide. There are some states that are legal. Federally, still illegal. But wait until federally it becomes legal. Then marijuana and cannabis and anything that's related to it, the stocks will go through the roof. So wait until that happens. So speaking of DeFi, right? The two that I've been talking about for a while, I'm like the two that I believe in, the two that are the leaders of what they do, Uniswap and AAVE, and they both had very, very good days, and they have been pumping up, just like GameStop. They've been pumping up to the moon, right? And that's because a lot of people really believe in these projects. It's the same thing. Uniswap, people believe in Uniswap because they have a good product. They're backed by good funding and good companies, and they work. And basically, you think about like before, when a new token comes out, you know, everyone tries to get on Binance, right? Now you don't really need to do that. You just get on Uniswap, and instantly, you know, you get exposure, right? So that's a big, powerful thing, and they're definitely doing things right. And AAVE, same thing. They're leading in the lending space, and a lot of people are utilizing them, and not only that, collecting good rewards for staking, right? So these two are definitely doing very, very, very good. Will ADA pass Polkadot? I mean, anything can happen. They're not that far apart, about 4 billion, 5 billion. But yeah, if Cardano completes and they get enough traction, sure, that can happen. Right now, most of the traction is in Polkadot. Cardano has been, I wouldn't say weak, but just going sideways. But Polkadot definitely has been high flying recently. So, I mean, it could happen, but right now, I think Polkadot is going to stay where it is. Kyber has a whole rebranding coming. Yeah, I heard, because they want to compete better with Uniswap, right? We'll see if it works. I don't know. You know, betting against the number one, going with number two and number three, seems like it's not really working right now, right? Doesn't mean that that's always going to be the case. There could be some newer things that's coming out, but not always the case. Now, I did cover some new altcoins in a newsletter for my Patreon members, right? So I haven't really been looking at new altcoins. You know, the last one I shared with you guys, Voyager. Some people brought it a graph, although I didn't do a full deep dive on it. But I was looking at things. You know, one thing I want to share with you guys, and this is not a new project. A lot of you guys know of them. But I did a deeper dive into Theta and T-Fuel. And these, basically, Theta is doing really, really well. When you look at a crypto company that actually has traction, that has good backing, good partnership, good leadership, and are just continuing to execute, Theta has to be among the top. I mean, they have, from my early days of looking at them before they came out their mainnet 1.0, they were just focused on, you know, getting decentralized streaming out there, right? They had good advisors, good team. They had Theta TV already out at that time. It was called Sliver.tv. But since then, with mainnet 2.0, they introduced another token, T-Fuel, and that is really nice. So it kind of gets rid of collusion, like the rich getting richer. It gets rid of that, and they have a dual token setup, which is really good. But with mainnet 3.0, they're going to come out with T-Fuel staking and burning, which will also add more incentive to hold. So T-Fuel looks like it's really going to be a good hold in the future. And plus, right now, everything on the network is utilizing T-Fuel. And Theta also looks like it's a good hold because they do have a set supply. So after doing a deep dive on Theta, yeah, I'm really, really impressed. Really impressed. So I'm going to say going forward, Theta is going to be one of my top altcoin projects that I like. So I just want to share that with you guys. Stop talking about AMC, man. AMC, my local AMC over here was bought out by Amazon. I don't know why. I don't know. There was rumors that Amazon wanted to start streaming their Prime videos on movie theaters. I don't know if that's the reason or they just wanted a warehouse. But I don't think AMC is going to be pulling the same thing as GameStop. Especially now that all the streaming companies are going to be streaming videos directly to their app. Like HBO is releasing all of like Warner Brothers releases on there. They did it with Wonder Woman already, but they're going to do, the Snyder cut of Justice League and what Godzilla versus Kong, which if you guys haven't seen that new trailer, that is an awesome trailer. Makes me really want to watch that movie, and that's coming out pretty soon too. And Disney already did it with a few films, and they're thinking about doing more. I mean, movie theaters, I don't know. Yeah, I would stay away from movie theater stocks, that's for sure. $92 Mojo. Stellar is, hate is a strong word. I don't hate Stellar, but I don't like it either. Jem McCaleb, basically started Stellar as a FU to Ripple. They're likely to be a target of FCC. They're inflationary. I don't see a whole lot going on with XLM right now. So I'm just not bullish on them. I don't hate them, but I don't, not very bullish on them at this point. BlackBerry, I have no idea. It's amazing that they haven't gone under yet, but I know they transited to like apps, business apps and stuff because they had such a large clientele, but I have no clue how they survived. Any thoughts on Grayscale, GBDC, and ETH and Grayscale? I've been talking about Grayscale pretty much nonstop. They've been adding more BTC despite the fact that BTC's price has not been going up. That just shows you retail investors, they haven't really come in yet. Right now, institutional investors are buying. They're buying behind the scenes, OTC market. They're trying to grab as much as possible, right? But right now, they're still buying regardless of price. But the next wave, right, is the retail investors. Retail investors, once they come in full blown, right, it's going to drive things very, very, very high. But Grayscale, they're a great, GBDC, 20 something. Let's just look it up right now. Well, see, I already have it bookmarked almost. Grayscale, let's look at their latest numbers. If they have one. This is from today, 5 hours ago. So 20 billion, right? Obviously, this went down a little bit because the Bitcoin's price has gone down, but the number of Bitcoins that they have in the trust actually has been going up. And this is huge. They went from 2 billion to 20 billion. Not too long ago, they were like 22 billion or 23 billion, but this continues to rise. Institutional investors continue to buy, right? I basically cover that almost every single day, and it's just simple as supply and demand. That's pretty much it. Once supply dries out, that's it. A lot of people are Ethereum fans. Ethereum does have, close to 4 billion under management for Grayscale, so that's pretty big too. So that's one thing that I do like about Ethereum, because Grayscale clients, institutional clients, are starting to buy Ethereum too. So this also does have effect on the price. Retail is going straight to Litecoin. I think some Litecoin fans like to believe that, but I don't think that's the case. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. I have no idea if you guys are mistyping or just bring up random stuff. I have no idea. Yeah, Chamath. I did. Thank you for bringing that up, Low Roller. I did actually have that article up. I forgot to bring it up. Bitcoin billionaire set to run for California governor. Yeah, Chamath is eyeing governor of California. I would be a fan of this. Chamath seems to be a very smooth and relaxing guy. You could tell from his interviews, but he's also damn smart. Some people call him the modern day Warren Buffett. He has made all the right investments, mostly in tech companies. He's also a big Bitcoin bull. He bought 1 million Bitcoins back in 2012. Whether or not he has them all, I don't know. If he does, it will make him one of the richest people on earth. He simply knows what he's doing, well, at least when it comes to money. And we know that, California is really hurting for money right now, right? So who knows? If he runs and he gets elected, he could change things for the better, right? And of course, since he is a big Bitcoin bull, who knows if he's going to make it very pro-Bitcoin, right? Especially with Silicon Valley being California, who knows what can happen, right? I do know it's probably going to help Tesla a lot going green. He's going to probably push EV quite a bit, and I do think he's probably going to push crypto and Bitcoin quite a bit. So I think this will be very, very positive if he runs and if he wins, right? So we'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of people writing gibberish today. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to Andrew Yang. Is he still I guess do people still pay attention to him? I know he got into some kind of trouble when he made an analogy that it's hard to raise kids in a 2-bedroom apartment in New York. And everyone's getting on him because a lot of people in New York only have a studio. They have 1 bedroom. So people didn't appreciate that, that he mentioned that. But anyways, I just drank a Heineken Light. That's all. I've been taking it easy, although I bought a new bottle of Wild Turkey Honey, which is very, very, very delicious. So I'm saving that for later. Andrew Yang did not die of COVID. Stop lying. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. I'll keep it short for this one, right, since it is late. And I do have a stream coming up tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. But the whole point of this video is to focus on what is actually driving GameStop up, right? Short sellers are getting wrecked. Reddit traders, they're actually making money hands over fist, but they've been planning this for a while. Some people really believe in GameStop, but ultimately there's a change. There's a change because retail investors are now upsetting the way things have been done in Wall Street. Wall Street does not believe that GameStop should be going up. They keep shorting it, but retail investors keep pumping it up. And now because of how high it's gone, Elon is joining in, FOMO is coming in, and GameStop is just going to the moon. But this shows you the change, you know, how a group of people that really believe in something can really affect change and can really drive things higher. I think that mentality has carried many companies in the past very far. And I do think that it's going to carry Bitcoin to the moon too. Bitcoin will never go away because there will be always a group of people that believe in it, believe that it's the best form of money. It's a new form of gold, and it is the best way to store your value and protect your value for the long haul, right? So I think this is very powerful. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and stay tuned to my video tomorrow, my stream at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.